at class 9. In today's class, we will discuss about the chapter 3rd, drainage of your geography. This chapter is deleted by the CBSE, but the map work of this chapter is coming in your final year exam. Okay, so we will not look at the notes and question answer, only map work we have to do. Okay, so in this chapter, we will talk about the drainage of India. Okay, drainage, you know that the water system or the river system of a country is called drainage. Okay, so first of all, you have seen that there are two type of river, perennial and peninsula. So first we will look at the perennial rivers. In perennials, first we have the river Indus. Okay, river Indus, you know that one of the longest river in Asia. Okay, it originate near Mansarovar Lake. Okay, it flow through the China, India and Pakistan, three countries covered by the river Indus, and finally drain into the Arabian Sea near Karachi of Pakistan. So this is river Indus. Next river is the most important river in India is river Ganga. Okay, it is the pious holy river of India, and you know that it is the one of the longest river, most longest river in India. Okay, it originates in Gangotri Glacier in Uttarakhand, and it has length around 2,704 kilometer. Okay, from Gangotri to this Bangladesh. It drain into the Bay of Bengal. Okay, join with the Brahmaputra river. So this is river Yamuna. It also originates from the Uttarakhand Yamunotri glacier, and they got, it is a tributary of river Ganga. Okay, they both got merged near Allahabad. You have seen that there is a Triveni Sangam, Ganga Yamuna Saraswati. Okay, and from there it become a single river named Ganga. Okay, now we talk about the also another important river. The third important river of India is the Brahmaputra. It's a perennial river, also originate from the lake Mansarovar. Okay, it is the ninth largest river in the world by discharge. Okay, and 15th longest river. And the country covered by the Brahmaputra river are China, India, and Bangladesh. Okay, these three countries covered by river Brahmaputra. Okay, near Mansarovar Lake, near Mount Kailash. So these are the perennial river of India. Perennial means you will find water in these river throughout the year, all 12 months. Okay, they flow 24/7 in 12 months. That is why they are called perennial river. So we have Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra. These three rivers, they are the most important river for India in terms of water, in terms of economy, or in terms of the life of the people. They are most important river. That is why we worship them. They have their importance. Next, we talk about the Peninsula River. Okay, in Peninsula River, first we have Narmada. Okay, Narmada River is very important river in India. Okay, it also called river Reva. Okay, it is called the lifeline of Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat. Lifeline of Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat, and origination point is Amarkantak Plateau. Amarkantak Plateau is in Madhya Pradesh. Okay, it originates from here and drain into the Arabian Sea. This is the drainage of river Narmada. After that, we have another river which is also the west flowing river, that is Tapi. Okay, Tapi river is between Godavari and Narmada and flows into Arabian Sea. It originates also in Madhya Pradesh near Multai. After that, it entered into the Maharashtra and flow into the Arabian Sea. These two rivers are west flowing river. They are very important in terms of map location. Next, we see the longest river in south. It is Godavari river. Okay, Godavari in India is the second longest river. This is Godavari, and it originates from Trimbakeshwar. Trimbakeshwar is in Maharashtra, and it flow into the Bay of Bengal. The total length is 1465 km, covering the state of Maharashtra, Telangana, Andhra, Chhattisgarh, Odisha. These states are covered by the river Godavari. After that, we have river Krishna. Krishna is also the peninsula river in South India. It is also very important. Krishna river is the fourth biggest river in terms of water inflow and river basin. Fourth biggest. Okay. After Ganga, Godavari and Brahmaputra. Okay, the river is almost 1288 km long, and it is also called Krishnaveni, and it supplies water to the Maharashtra, Karnataka, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Okay, it originates into the Maharashtra, Western Ghat of Mahabaleshwar. This is the origination point of river Krishna, Mahabaleshwar. After that, we have river Mahanadi. Mahanadi river originates in Chhattisgarh, okay, and it drain into also Bay of Bengal, and it is also known for the dam Hirakud. Hirakud dam is important, supply water to the near state Chhattisgarh, Odisha, okay, and the length is 858 km long, and its source is Chhattisgarh, Sihava. And there is also a bridge built here. It is Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Setu. After Mahanadi, we have river Kaveri. Kaveri is also important river, a holy river in South India. So Kaveri is also drained into Bay of Bengal. Okay. It is a sacred river of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, and rises at the Talakaveri on the Brahmagiri range in the Western Ghat. These areas are called the Western Ghat, and here are the Talakaveri Brahmagiri range. It is origination point. Okay, and its length is around 800 kilometer. So these are the peninsular river of India. Clear? Now we move on to the lakes. Lakes are also very important for mankind. They supply water. Okay. So first we talk about the Vular Lake. This is Vular Lake. Okay. Vular Lake is in Ladakh. Vular Lake is one of the largest freshwater lakes in Asia. Okay, it is situated in the Bandipoda district of Jammu and Kashmir. Earlier it was Jammu and Kashmir, now it was in Ladakh. Okay, and the lake was formed as a result of tectonic activity, and the water here is come from Jhelum River. Okay, and its area around 12 to 100 square mile. It is the largest freshwater lake in India. Second lake, we have an artificial lake, that is Guru Gobind Sagar Lake, is in Himachal Pradesh, and it is built by the Bhakra Nangal Dam, a reservoir built here that is man-made, and that is why we called it artificial lake, a man-made lake. This is a natural, it is a man-made, okay, made by human. Guru Gobind Sagar Lake. It is also freshwater lake, and the water here is collected through Bhakra Nangal Dam. Next we have Sambar Lake. Sambar Lake is in Rajasthan, and it is a salt water lake. There is a salt producing over there. Okay, the Sambar Lake is in India, is the largest inland salt lake, located 80 kilometers southwest of the city of Jaipur and 64 kilometers in the northeast of Ajmer. Okay, it surrounded the historical Sambar Lake town. Sambar Lake town, its length around 35.5 kilometers, and the surface elevation is 360 meters above. Next we have the Vembanad Lake. Vembanad Lake is in Kerala. It is also saltwater lake. Okay. Vembanad is the longest lake in India and the largest lake in the state of Kerala. Okay. After Vembanad, we have Pulicat Lake. Pulicat Lake is the second largest blackish water lagoon in India after Chilka Lake. Okay, so Pulicat Lake is in at the Coromandel coast, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu border. You will find it Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu border at Coromandel coast. This area is called Coromandel, and after that we have Northern Sarkar. Okay, these are the two parts of Eastern Ghats. So Pulicat Lake is situated Coromandel coast. Next we have Koleru. Koleru Lake is also in Andhra Pradesh. Koleru Lake is one of the largest freshwater lakes in India, located in the state of Andhra Pradesh, and form the largest shallow freshwater lake in Asia. Okay, and Koleru is located between Krishna and Godavari deltas. Krishna and Godavari deltas. In between you will find the Koleru Lake in Andhra Pradesh. And next we have the most important lake of salt water is Chilika Lake. It is the biggest lake, okay, which is in state Odisha. This is Chilika Lake, okay. Chilka Lake is the brackish water lagoon spread over Puri, Khurda and Ganjam district of Odisha, state of east coast of India. And it cover area around 1100 kilometers. That is very big area. It is the largest coastal lagoon in India and second largest brackish water lagoon in the world. Okay, that is why Chilka Lake is important, because it is the biggest in terms of the water holding in terms of the area in India and second largest in the world of brackish water. Okay, so these are formed by the sea water. All saltwater lakes are formed by the seawater. That is why they are called brackish or salt or lagoons. Okay, Sambar Lake is the only black salt lake which is surrounded by the land. Otherwise, you will find all salt lake near the sea coast. That is formed by the seawater. So these are the important lakes of India. So practice these rivers and lakes and revise them. Okay. So this is the end of lecture map work of chapter 3 drainage. Okay. Thank you.